Marvel has created entire Avengers teams outside Earth 616, and some of the wildest ones were built from broken futures, lost legacies, and alternate timelines most fans never even hear about. A few of these heroes were tied to Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Black Panther, but their stories stayed trapped in worlds the main universe almost never touched. If you're into comics and nerd content like this, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. American Dream is Sharon Carter's cousin from the MC2 future, and she first appeared in A-Next number 4 as a Captain America superfan who pushed herself to peak human condition. After proving she belonged with A-Next, the next generation of Avengers, she adopted the American Dream identity as a tribute to Steve Rogers, giving that world a fresh shield-bearing hero built on legacy instead of imitation, not another Captain America clone. What makes her stand out is that Shannon was never enhanced by a super soldier serum, yet she still earned Steve Rogers' respect and even received an indestructible shield after saving him. She later returned in Captain America Corps, proving Marvel never fully forgot her, and that is exactly why she deserves another shot in Earth 616. American Dream already feels like a complete legacy hero, but one most readers still barely know. Mainframe debuted in A-Next number 1 as part of the MC2 Avengers, looking at first like the next Iron Man until Marvel revealed something much stranger. He was not a man in armor at all. Tony Stark created him as a sentient android to carry on his legacy, and even his own teammates did not realize there was no human body inside the suit. That twist made Mainframe feel less like a copy and more like one of Marvel's smartest future Avengers. His mystery started breaking open in A-Next number 7 when he encountered Iron Man, and the truth about his android nature finally came out. Instead of rejecting him, the team accepted him, and Mainframe grew into one of A-Next's leaders. Marvel even brought that future Avengers team back in Avengers Unlimited in 2023, which proves this character was far too inventive, distinctive, and modern to stay buried in a forgotten timeline forever. J2 is Zane Yama, the son of Juggernaut in the MC2 future, and his story began in J2 number 1 in 1998. Marvel introduced him as a young man destined for a super-powered life who discovers both his unusual abilities and his new heroic identity in that very first issue. Right away, he felt different from his father, because J2 was built as a younger, cleaner, next-generation version of one of Marvel's most destructive legacy names in comics. He joined the Avengers almost immediately in J2 Nerd 2, proving he was more than a spin-off gimmick, and Marvel trusted him enough to headline a 12-issue solo series. That alone makes him unusual for such an obscure alternate timeline hero. With Juggernaut-level power, a more youthful energy, and a concept that already worked beyond one cameo, J2 feels like exactly the kind of forgotten future Avenger Earth 616 could revive without much effort. Stinger is Cassie Lang from the MC2 timeline, and in that future she became a founding member of A-Next instead of following the exact path of her Earth 616 counterpart. Marvel describes her as a gifted scientist who carries on both Scott Lang's legacy and Hank Pym's influence, which already makes her more than just another size-changing hero. She feels like a real successor, not a temporary sidekick hiding behind a famous family name. Her powers come from Pym particles, but that is only part of the appeal. This Cassie was already using the Stinger identity in A-Next number 1 years before the main timeline made that codename familiar, which gives her real historical value. Marvel also frames her as one of the key pieces of A-Next's future lineup, so bringing her into Earth 616 would not feel forced at all. It would feel like finally giving a forgotten original her due. Henry Pym Jr. is one of the core Next Avengers, the future children of Earth's mightiest heroes, and Marvel identifies him as the son of Ant-Man and the Wasp across those alternate realities. He made his comic debut with the team in Avengers number 1 from 2010, after growing up in a world ruled by Ultron. That setup alone gives Henry a stronger hook than most forgotten legacy heroes, because he was born into an Avengers future already broken. What makes him even more interesting is that Marvel's own multiverse guide also names a different Henry Pym Jr. in MC2, where he first appeared as Big Man, the brother of Red Queen and an enemy of A-Next before turning on her. So the name already carries two future possibilities at once: a hidden child of the Avengers and a redeemed heir from a darker branch of the legacy. Either version could be rebuilt into a strong Earth 616 return. James Rogers is one of the clearest examples of a future Avenger who should have gone much further. Marvel identifies him as the son of Captain America and Black Widow across the various Next Avengers realities, and he made his comic debut in Avengers #1 from 2010 alongside the rest of that team. Raised in a future devastated by Ultron, James was built around pure Avengers legacy from the beginning, not as a random side character added later. That is why he works so well. James combines two major Marvel legacies in one character while still feeling distinct from both parents. In different versions of the team, he was treated as a central figure, and the Next Avengers concept was strong enough to help the present-day Avengers stop weapons from being smuggled in from the future. James already had the setup, the name value, and the momentum to survive beyond one forgotten timeline. Azari TChalla stands out immediately because Marvel identifies him as the son of Storm and Black Panther, making him one of the most striking members of the Next Avengers. He debuted in Avengers #1 from 2010 with the rest of that future team, after being raised in a timeline where Ultron conquered the world. Even before readers learned more about him, Azari felt like the kind of alternate universe Avenger who never should have stayed obscure. Marvel later confirmed that Azari inherited both the heart-shaped herb's gifts and electrokinesis, which makes him feel bigger than a simple legacy character. His Earth 10943 counterpart was also singled out as a member of the Next Avengers, proving the concept worked beyond a single version. Between Wakandan legacy, Storm's side of the family, and that Electric Panther energy, Azari feels ready for an Earth 616 comeback today. Thunderstrike is Kevin Masterson, the MC2 son of Eric Masterson, and Marvel folded him into A-Next as one of its strongest legacy heroes. In that future, Loki stole the Thunderstrike mace and tried to drain its power, but Kevin jumped into the ritual, absorbed the weapon's magic into himself, and became the new Thunderstrike. That instantly turned him from a grieving son into a future Avenger with real weight and a far bigger destiny. What makes Kevin work is that he was not just copying his father's name. He took the code name as a tribute, fought beside the newly formed A-Next team, and carried one of the clearest next-generation Thor-side legacies in the MC2 world. Marvel still highlights him when looking back at that future Avengers lineup, which says a lot about how memorable Thunderstrike remained compared to many forgotten alternate heroes from split timelines. That was our look at 8 obscure Avengers from alternate timelines who deserve another chance. Thanks for watching, leave a like, comment your favorite, and subscribe to Nerd Society for more Marvel and DC videos.